Hello everyone, this is Aaron Johnson with the Johnson iRacing team bringing you our weekly performance update, this at the end of week number 8 of season 4 of the 2020 iRacing season. This week the street stocks were at Southern National Motorsports Park and the Legends cars were at Concord Motorsports Park. Both tracks very fast, high banked ovals, short tracks where there's a lot of action and a lot of challenges. Let's hop right in. We'll start with the performance of Jacob Johnson this week. Jake managed to raise his iRating to 1,525. That would be Jake's highest iRating in about 2.5 months, as he had struggled a fair amount from about the 1st of September onward. He had a good week. Jake ran 3 races, didn't have any wins, but he did have 3 top 5 finishes, no poles. But anytime you can finish in the top 5, it's a good week. When you finish in the top 5 100% of the time, it's a great week. In the Street Stock Series, Jake sits in position number 430 out of 14,946 drivers. That puts Jake inside the top 3% of all drivers that have attempted at least one points-paying race in the Fanatec Street Stock Series. Jake's overall performance here, he's got 17 starts, only 1 win and only 4 top 5s, but he's got 2 poles as well. He's got 336 championship points in 7 weeks. You'll notice here he's a week short. He's averaging about 45 points a week, maybe a little more. So if he were able to run one more week, he'd be a fair amount higher in the point standings. Jake's been taking the Legends Car Series a lot more seriously. So let's take a look at how Jake's done in the Legends Cars. Right now, Jake is in Division 4 of 11 divisions total. And your division is based on the number of iRating points you have when the season starts. The lower the number, the more highly rated you were. So in Division 4, Jake was in the top half of people by iRating. At this point in time, he's ranked 30th out of about 1,057 drivers that are actually in his division. And that's being a week short on points. He's averaging not quite 70 points a week, so we'd expect Jake to maybe be somewhere in the top 25 if he'd been able to run all 8 weeks. In the overall Legends Car Series, Jake ranks 176th out of 12,174 drivers that have attempted a points-paying race. That puts Jake inside the top 1.5% of all drivers in the Advanced Legends Cup. Jake's doing really well now, and he continues to come up each and every week. We'd expect him to be somewhere inside the top, between 150th and 175th, had he been able to run all 8 weeks. Overall, 32 starts, 7 wins, 14 top 5s, and 7 poles. Jake finishes in the top 5 about 40% of the time, maybe 44% of the time. A good goal for Jake, if he wanted to continue to improve, would be to get that top 5 percentage up closer to 50%. This week really helped because he was 3 for 3 in terms of top 5s. Let's move on to my brother Joe. Joe Johnson has been racing iRacing now for about 2.5 months. He managed to raise his iRating up over 2,000, breaking the 2,000 plateau. That's a significant plateau, and it's one that's worthy of recognition by iRacing. So if we take a look at Joe's recognitions, we're going to see, or of his awards, we're going to see that he's got his 2,000 iRating award. So Joe doing really well. Overall, this week, Joe started 4 races. He had no wins. He did have 2 top 5s, no poles, but a 50% top 5 ratio is going to be pretty good. Joe didn't race at all in the Street Stock Series this week, and in fact, I think the Street Stock Series, because it's a series that's filled with a lot of inexperienced drivers and you end up taking a lot of beating and banging, you lose a lot of your safety rating there. Joe's, I think, been maybe a little hesitant to jump into the Street Stocks and choosing to focus on the Legends cars. But even with only 5 starts, Joe's still 1,718th out of more than almost 15,000 drivers. Puts Joe inside the top 11.5%. So if Joe had wanted to focus on the Street Stock Series, it's a good bet that he'd be somewhere in, I'm guessing, the top 500, maybe a little better, maybe top 300. But that just hasn't been in the cards for Joe. Joe's been spending his time focused on the iRacing Advanced Legends Cup. He's in Division 5, and in Division 5, Joe is in 2nd place right now out of about 906 drivers in the division. He's doing really, really well. He's about 150 points behind Chris Wold. Chris Wold has really just taken off and is running in the top 25 globally. So Chris Wold's become really one of the top iRacing Legends car drivers anywhere in the world. But Joe's still doing really, really well. If we look at his overall rankings here, Joe's ranked 60th out of 12,174 drivers who have attempted a points-paying race. That puts Joe in the top 0.5%. To put another way, if we were to randomly select 1,000 drivers from the iRacing Advanced Legends Cup and we included Joe in that sample, Joe would probably be one of the top 5 drivers that we picked. So he's doing incredibly well here. He's got 38 starts, 2 wins, 20 top 5s, and 3 poles. 20 top 5s and 38 starts, a little over 50%, closer to 55%. Average start 6th, average finish 6th. So Joe has been doing really well. Doesn't run up front a lot. He's only led 84 laps. But that consistency in finishing in the top 5 is going to pay off when this season's over. We're 2/3 of the way through. We've got 1/3 of the season remaining. Joe continues to move up, moving all the way up to 60th position at the end of week number 8. Our third driver, Aaron Johnson, that's me. Let's take a look at my profile here. It'll take a minute for it to come up. Rural Colorado internet is not known for its speed. I had an excellent week. I raised my I rating to 2,692, almost to the 2,700 plateau. That is the highest my rating has been since I've been racing. Started racing back in mid-June. So you can see the couple of peaks here where I had some internet issues that was causing me to get kicked out of races. I've overcome that and steadily increased my I rating up to nearly 2,700. This week, I had 8 starts, 1 win, 5 top 5s, and 1 pole. Really good week for me, my I rating coming up, and then, of course, anytime you can get a win, you're going to be doing really well. Joe and I both now race routinely in the top split with the very best iRacing drivers in the world. So winning a race against that bunch makes you feel pretty good. Let's start out by taking a look at the Street Stock Series. I am currently 16th out of 14,946 drivers. That puts me inside the top 2.2%. That means that if we were to take a 1,000-person sample and put me in it, I'd either be probably first or second in that group of people selected at random. In the Street Stock Series, I have 32 starts, 2 wins, 10 top 5s, and 2 poles. My average start is 7th, average finish is 8th. Overall, the averages are going to be somewhere around 9th if you were to start just at the average. At the average at the beginning of a race, you would start 9th or thereabouts because there are typically about 18 cars in any given race. In any case, I'm up into the top 25. That's kind of been my goal all along here, to be on that front page. Hopefully I'll be able to continue that with 4 weeks left in the season. In the Advanced Legends Cup, I'm in Division 9. I currently lead that division by 370 points. We're 8 weeks in. We've got 4 weeks to go, and we take the 9 best weeks that any person gets. So after this week, we'll start dropping low scores, and I expect that 370-point differential is going to narrow some. Hopefully I've got a big enough lead here that I don't have to worry about Anthony Scarillo or Eric Sellers sort of pole vaulting past me. If we look at the overall series standings, I'm 36th out of 12,174 drivers who have attempted at least one points-paying race in the Advanced Legends Cup. That puts me inside the top 0.3% of all drivers racing in the Legends Cup. I'm just a few points out of that top 25. Don't know if I can close enough to get there, but that is my goal for the Legends Cup as well. Right now I've got 48 starts, 12 wins, 28 top 5s, and 11 poles. My average start and finish both about 5th place, so I consistently start in the top half of the pack. And my top 5 percentage is closing in, it's actually probably closing in on 60%. So I'm about 58% right now. I've kind of got a goal to see if I can't be in the top 5 60% of the time here in the Advanced Legends Cup. So overall, doing really well. If I were to describe how the Johnson iRacing team has done so far to date, I would say that our goals are largely being met. We started out the season with the goal of being in the top 200 in the Legends Cup. All 3 of us are there. And personally, for myself, I've set a goal of being in the top 25 in the Street Stock Series. Right now, I'm 16th, so I'm doing really well in the Street Stock Series. Joe and Jake not racing in the Street Stock Series, so they're not. It's not expected that they would be doing as well. That's really not where their focus has been. As always, if you see this video and you think that the Johnson iRacing team might be for you, you might want to be a part of what it is we're doing here. Feel free to find me on iRacing. My handle is AaronJohnson14. You can see that right here. go to the send message tab when you look me up, and you should be able then to send me a private message or a personal message asking for more information about the Johnson iRacing team. We do have some rules. Rule number 1, we try to always race the right way. That means taking responsibility when we make a mistake. It means trying our best not to drop too many bombs. You get irritated, you get upset. We know that's going to happen, but we do our best to be at least somewhat gentlemanlike. And we share everything. When we have new ideas, new setups, new lines, we'll take videos of those and post those to a Dropbox folder where you can download those from the Johnson iRacing team. So if you want to be a part of the team, send me a message, let me know. We'll get in touch with you. And if we think that it's going to be a great fit for everybody, we're going to welcome you in with open arms. That's it for the Week 8 update from the Johnson iRacing team here during Season 4 of the 2020 iRacing year. For the Johnson iRacing team, this is Aaron Johnson saying, go fast, turn left, have fun.